Good afternoon, suburban readers, suburban viewers. Beryl Wiseman, editor of the paper here. I'm here with a dear friend, dear mentor, and a truly great Montrealer Canadian, Jonathan Wener, founder and president of Canderel Corporation, one of Canada's greatest developers. What this man has done as a community leader, the Canderel Challenge Against Cancer. Just last year, I believe, John, he orchestrated the biggest real estate deal in Quebec history by taking a public REIT private and bringing in Blackstone Equity, world's largest private equity firm, into Quebec. This is a tribute to you. It's a tribute to you and your wife, Susan. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. This is quite an honor, and we're very pleased. My grandfather was one of the founders of the temple, so I'm glad to be here and honoring the history of the temple and its future.
I remember Rabbi Stern.
Yeah.
What a great mind.
As a matter of fact, I met Rabbi Stern with my grandfather from the Shor Shemayim, and I was shaking his hand with bacon in my hand.
Nice. Very nice, John.
It's a nice touch.
John, you're a leader in everything in Montreal. People are going to want to know, they're really disconcerted about the government being able to move anything in this province, the credit downgrade. How do you see the development outlook in Montreal?
Right now it's a bit bleak, simply because we have a situation where the prices that are required relative to what the market can afford are incongruent, and something has to give. It looks like the federal government's going to get engaged in this and hopefully help the cities out of their infrastructure dilemmas. Unfortunately, most governments keep piling it onto developers, figuring we can absorb it. We can, as long as our buyers can. And unfortunately, I would say across the country, we're stalled on residential.
The constant complaint and refrain that I even keep getting calls on about the length of time in Montreal it takes to get permits.
You know, I traveled across the country, and while I would say that Montreal is certainly not the best, Ontario has changed their attitude, and I experienced a project which normally would take 5 years to get approval, was approved in just over a year, and took the density from 26 stories to 42 stories.
Here in Montreal?
No, in Toronto. There's something to be learned from that. Part of the affordability crisis is the length of time we need to carry the land waiting for approval. Land doubles at 8% in 9 years, or just divide into the power of 72. So that has to get passed on, and the consumer is saying, I can't take that anymore. In addition, the amount of inputs, and I'm not saying that it's the city's fault, but the amount of inputs that go on to every project has gone from a low of 10% years ago to 35% of total cost. The consumer can't take it. If you take classical Keynesian economics, with the demand that we have, prices should be going up and builders should be building across this country. That's not happening. When I just want to make one last point, Bert.
What you like?
If you think about it, the railroad was built from coast to coast
CPR
in 4 years, and we have projects that are still sitting in bureaucracy 4, 5, and 6 years.
For all you policymakers and budding entrepreneurs out there and MBAs out there, you just heard more wisdom in about 2 minutes than you're going to hear in 2 years in university. John, just before we go downstairs and have a good time tonight, I got to congratulate you again. You had is it the 20th Défi Canderel, or the 30th?
36th.
36th.
And we broke through 30 million.
Two times life. John Wener, love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best.
All the best.